Alright, so this is training log number 25 now. It's been another really solid week of Ironman specific training, and in actual fact it's probably been some of the best workouts I've ever done actually, all coupled together within the week. On Saturday I did attempt Kristian Blummenfelt's Ironman key session. That one was tons of fun and we'll get to that, but before that let's have a look at the entire week leading up to it, which started out with a 4.2 kilometer swim. So this had 3100s with descending rest, and I was really happy to be hitting some pretty good paces. I mean, if you go back 4 or 5 months, I was swimming similar sets like this, 10 seconds per 100 slower. So I got out of the water feeling pretty good at the end of this one. And the other workout on Monday was just a 1 hour easy ride. Now that's basically our recovery day for the week. Tuesday lunch is a real upper aerobic ride. Tuesday finishes out now as normal with a track session. This week it was 8 by 1k with 60 seconds rest in between. So that's probably one of the better track sessions I've been able to do, and it takes us into Wednesday now. And I'm taking all your loving, let's mind the key. Wednesday lunch is just a 45-minute easy to moderate run. And we finish out Wednesday now with a pretty solid 2-hour bike session which featured 6 rounds of 10 minutes at 260 watts with a cadence of like 60 RPM. So that's a real strength endurance ride. So the next morning after that 2-hour ride, we're back on the bike again for another 2-hour ride, but this one's just all aerobic. And as I was sort of saying last week, one thing I am trying to work on a lot at the moment is really increasing my aerobic volume, trying to increase that aerobic efficiency and capacity. And that's exactly what this ride's for. So it's 2 hours averaging 170 watts on the trainer. Thursday lunch, I'm in the pool for a 3k swim, and this one was done as 3 by 1k. Now I put the splits up here and I was pretty happy with those because I'm pretty sure that those would be 3 of the fastest 1 kilometers I've ever swam. We finish out Thursday now just with a 1 hour moderate run. And within these videos, sometimes I'll say moderate, sometimes I'll say aerobic. You know, you're kind of working around LT1, zone 2, moderate, aerobic. I mean, all those words really are synonymous. So Friday, I was traveling down to Sydney for work, and that meant that I only really had time for the one session, and that was 5 by 5 minutes at VO2 max, with 5 minutes recovery between each. So I'm just trying to keep my power above 300 watts here. But again, I just use that kind of as a guide. I'm really just trying to hone into 5 minutes of quite a hard effort, but still enough that I can recover and repeat it 5 times. Well, I'm gonna squeeze you like a lemon till you're crying. Well, I don't want your kindness, be mean to me. Awesome. And I'm taking all your love. And that takes us to Saturday now. So this is Kristian Blummenfelt's key Ironman session that he would do. It starts out with 2 hours at Ironman power, straight into a 90-minute run at Ironman effort, and then straight back on the bike for 90 more minutes at Ironman power. it. Kristian Blummenfelt's Ironman workout, done. So yeah, that workout was definitely quite tough. It wasn't easy. I think physically it was demanding, but mentally it wasn't too hard because it was broken down into those 3 parts. It became quite easy to tackle. Comparing that to last week where I just did 5 hours straight on the trainer, physically I would say this is probably harder, but mentally it was a lot easier to approach because I had, you know, those sort of time frames within where it was just get through the first 2 hours, then go for a run, then just back on the bike for another 90 minutes. But yeah, no doubt once I got off the bike there, my legs were pretty cooked. But I rested up Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday now, we finish out the week just with that long run. We've built that one up again a bit this week to 2 hours and 20 minutes now. I did this one on the treadmill just so that I could watch the Ironman World Champs while I was on there. So I had my phone set up on the treadmill. And I did a bit of a pace build. So the first hour was done at 5 minutes per kilometer. Then I went straight into 20 minutes at around 4:45 per kilometer. And we finished at the last hour then at 4:30 per kilometer. So all in all, that took us to 29 kilometers, averaging 4:45 per kilometer. So obviously the conversions to miles will be up. But I was pretty happy to be able to run that one as comfortably as I did with my heart rate in the mid to low 140s. Especially considering the day before I had pushed pretty hard on the bike and in the run. But all in all, I think that's a really solid week of training. You know, the swim on Monday was some of the best paces I've ever done for 100s. Then the swim on Thursday was some of the best paces I've ever done for 1K reps. The Saturday session was obviously really hard, but I was still able to hold, on the bike above 200 watts and then run off it at, pretty close to what I ran my Ironman time in back in May. And considering the fact that it was quite hot and humid that morning, I'm pretty happy with those splits, especially as well because there wasn't a taper or anything leading into it. So I'm really happy with those numbers there. And then the Tuesday track session, there was some of the fastest 1K splits I've ever ran. So all in all, I think that's a really solid week of training when I look at it. And if we have a look at the actual totals for the week, the swim was down a bit this week just because we had to miss Friday's swim, but that was 11.5 kilometers, so about 3 hours in the pool. On the bike, 366 kilometers, all done on the trainer though, so let's just call that 10 hours and 39 minutes on the bike. And then running 86 kilometers or about 7 hours of running. So the run was up quite a bit this week, essentially just because we added in that extra Saturday run where we ran for 90 minutes. Otherwise it was all relatively normal. The Tuesday track session was fairly long, that was almost 18K. We also had one strength session in there, but yeah, that took us to 21 hours, 25 minutes of total training. And I think I was really happy to hit good quality work in those 21 hours as well. We've had other weeks of similar volume, but nowhere near as much quality. So coming off the back of that one's really good. Next week we've got some test sessions to do, so the volume won't be extremely high, but there'll still be a little bit of quality in there. I'll do things like an FTP test and some critical swim speed tests to see just what kind of progression I've had over the last few months. But yeah, that takes us now to about 8 weeks out from the virtual indoor Ironman that I'm gonna do. But if I can get a few more weeks similar to this in terms of volume and quality, I think I'm gonna be in pretty good shape come December, and then hopefully I can build off that to have a really good season of Ironmans next year.